つこ。
What is up, my fellow viewers? This is Keka the Otaku, and welcome to another video. Have you ever gone to an anime website, let's say My Anime List, search what were the top tier anime and wondered, why is this particular anime considered good? Why does it have such a high score? What made that series to be well known in the community as a great example of a good anime? Well, today I'll try my best to explain some possible reasons as to why an anime is considered good. Now, before we continue, I'd like to clarify this from the very beginning. The arguments I'll be providing are purely my own. Please do not take these as a personal attack if you disagree. But if you do, please provide your arguments in the comment section. Now, onto the topic. We all have experienced the feeling of watching the very first episode of a certain anime series and whether be impressed by what was happening and get that good impression of, damn, this anime looks promising, or be utterly disappointed by what you were watching and right away say to yourself, well, this shit sucks ass. There could be many reasons behind it, from our personal experience all the way to each person's taste, which is very hard to describe and judge based upon these arguments. However, there are a number of points that can undeniably classify and distinguish a certain anime series as good or bad, like the quality of the story, the depth of each character that is presented, if the world is interesting enough, and we can go on. Nevertheless, in each point I just mentioned, it is still kinda subjective from person to person. Just because I think a certain anime is a 10 out of 10, someone may judge it to be a 4 out of 10 or whatever. It depends on everyone's perspective. The perfect example of a polarized anime would be the SAO franchise. It is funny how in almost every video I've made so far there's Sword Art Online in it. I wonder why. Many anime fans have seen Sword Art Online, and it is without a doubt a popular anime. Many people love the franchise for its premise. Some say, for example, that Kirito is a great character because he has shown a lot of development throughout the series, while many others totally disagree with it and say it was an overall poorly conceived anime. Hence the reason this anime brings a lot of controversy. And I mean, it's a matter of perspective and taste. Popular anime always has these kind of problems, because everyone has their own personal favorite anime, and whenever a new one rises to the top, they have to defend their personal babies. And that's fine, so as long as people respect each other's taste in a healthy environment, which is often not the case, but whatever. Nevertheless, it is true that some people dislike a certain anime that has become quite popular. Not only because they have other preferences, but because of genre fatigue. To explain you this a little bit better, the isekai genre is a perfect example that has risen in popularity in recent years. And in each season, there's at least 1 to 2 new isekai anime that comes out, because it is a popular genre in general, and many fans can easily relate to it, hence the reason many popular isekai can easily fall into the controversy scene, because some fans are simply tired of it. Therefore, even if that certain anime has great fighting scenes, or it provides a lot of fan service and it is exciting to watch, other main points are ignored, like story and character quality. Hence the expression, oh, that anime is overrated as f***. If we take a good look into the anime industry, we all know that anime is growing at a rapid speed. A lot of anime is pumped out every season to keep up with the demand, and with it comes more variety. Therefore, because the anime community is growing equally as much, many new fans start to watch these popular anime, and their experience is of course the best there is. For other people that watched countless anime in the past, a new anime with the same old premise or the same old genre can be subject of harsh reviews. Because you are more experienced and you have more anime knowledge than others, the reason why new fans consider popular shows as god tier status, while others with more anime record have a different opinion. Which is totally fine, everyone goes through that phase, am I right? To give you a personal example, recently I rewatched Konosuba and I gave it a 9 out of 10 instead of a 7 out of 10. Wait, no, that's the wrong example. Continuing. When I was checking my anime list, I had given a score of 7 out of 10 for the first season of Shin Mao no Testament. I mean, it was clear that something wasn't right. I remember watching it before High School DD, in which both these franchises really resemble in terms of plot, premise, and even characters. And it was a huge disappointment when I rewatched it. The fan service and the lewd scenes totally clouded my judgment for the first time around. But now, after being done with the horny and puberty phase, I could say that this anime was trash. Unlike High School DD, the characters were really boring, there were barely any comedy aspects to really tone down the sexual scenes, and it felt like a cheap ripoff of High School DD. By the way, High School DD, you're up there, okay? You did well, old friend. Waiting for the 5th season, by the way. But the question is, what separates the good anime from the masterpieces? Like I said before, some of the arguments I provided are still present and are a staple when it comes to judge an anime. But what makes us believe that certain anime are way beyond a 7 out of 10 score? Well, I'd say it comes down to how much everyone is connected with the characters and how fun each and every single one of us are of the plot, especially if the theme of the anime is not your preference from the get-go, because often it can surprise us the most. To give you a good example, recently I've watched Code Geass for the very first time, the original series from 2006, and all I can say is that is probably one of the best anime, if not the best, I have seen so far. The characters were so well developed, the plot was complex and yet fully well explained. You could understand and feel the different emotions the characters were experiencing, as if you were there next to them, and there were no boring moments in my opinion. Even the political discussions in the anime were not tedious at all. There were a lot of mysteries in the midst of the plot that were being slowly unraveled, and everything made sense in the end. Look, I am not a mecha anime fan in the slightest, but even the fights between the different robots were so awesome and smooth, it wasn't a nuisance at all. And why, you may ask? Simply because the creator found a way to keep the viewers glued to the story, to its mysteries, to its sad and happy moments, and how the story was conveyed with interesting characters that weren't simply boring and two-dimensional with no purpose whatsoever, you know, like most anime we see nowadays, unfortunately. Another aspect I'd like to touch upon is that sometimes people misinterpret a good anime with a popular anime. These are totally different things. One of the reasons an anime can get pretty popular and yet sucks hard is the fan service. And yes, even I did this mistake countless times, even to this day, okay, I admit it. You know that in anime there are a lot of female characters, if not most female characters, are objectified for their body structures. I mean, it is anime, and girls are very sexy in the majority, and this is a part of the creator's intentions, to create fan service by showing many lewd scenes whenever they can, with bare naked female characters, you know, to keep viewers attached to the anime. This does not mean that the story or the characters are interesting or well thought out, and yet it can be confused quite often. And then again, this does not mean that every anime with lewd scenes and fan service are bad, okay? The example I gave you moments ago, like High School DD, is the case. The opposite is unfortunately true for the same reasons. There are many anime out there that are masterpieces and are not popular enough because they don't address fan service or stereotypical situations. Great examples would be Death Parade, Anohana, the Monogatari series, Bakano, Mushishi. These are not as popular as other anime series like Boku no Hero, Dragon Ball or One Piece, because they don't satisfy the majority of the viewership. They lack a lot of action and exciting scenes, which is what a big part of the community likes to watch. I mean, it is not a bad thing, okay? Some anime are just meant for a niche audience, but still, there are a lot of hidden gems out there that, despite not being as popular, they are undeniably much better than many popular series, in my personal opinion. A good way to identify a great anime is when you find a series that has the ability to create a story or characters with a twist. Even when the anime has the same old premise, making slight adjustments and create a story that is unusual, but it works in the end, can be a good and refreshing surprise and break the monotony of the old anime. There's always this stigma when it comes to certain anime genre, like, oh, another isekai, oh, another harem-centered anime, and even these can sometimes provide great surprises by creating stories and characters out of the box. Again, Log Horizon is the perfect example of an isekai that is a masterpiece. Log Horizon is one of the most well-made MMORPG anime in my opinion, because the writer knows what a true MMORPG is, and therefore he explores the different concepts in depth and provide explanations whenever an RPG mechanic is referred. Not only that, but unlike many isekai anime, the MC is not OP in the slightest. However, the dude is that smart that he literally exploits the game's flaws and mechanics in order to achieve his needs, which makes the anime unique in its sense. All in all, anime is good when you personally enjoy it, and it should not be seen as a bad thing if the majority thinks otherwise. That's the great thing about the anime community. You have plenty of different anime and a lot of different fans in which you can discuss about your ideas and exchange impressions. And that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to watch your daily dose of anime, cause it's good for your brain and heart. Take care, and I'll see y'all in the next video.